For the second play of Christmas, my favorite game gave me a rocket and the hood and a mech and 8 scary minions. Hello and welcome to the second play of Christmas. My name is Josh, and for today's matchup of my 12 favorite heroes versus my 12 favorite villains, we are taking Rocket Raccoon in Justice up against the Hood, and we're going to try this one in Expert. I find him to be particularly difficult in Expert compared to his standard version, but I want to see if we're up to the task for this one. And the 7 modular sets that were randomly chosen for the Hood out of a pool of my favorites were the Acolytes, Armadillo, Ship Command, the Ransacked Armory, Galactic Artifacts, the Doomsday Chair, and Mr. Hyde. So a pretty decently difficult set of modular encounter sets. Now, to complete the setup for this match, we need to choose one of these and shuffle it into the deck at random. So I'm just going to shuffle them up without looking and see who we're going to start with. All right, it is going to be the Acolytes. Okay, in a way, I was kind of hoping for that because I am playing Rocket Raccoon and he likes to kill minions. So it's nice that we'll have the only minion set in the whole group here shuffled in. The downside of that, as we're going to see here in a second, is because there was only one minion set out of the 7, I was a little bit banking on them not being chosen, at least not early in the game, because I built my deck sort of more in mind with the idea that there weren't going to be too many minions. Now, not to say I was ignoring them, so we should be okay, but I was kind of hoping for one of the more side schemey mod sets to end up in there, but that's who we've got. So the Acolytes are shuffled in there. Now we flip this over and it tells us that we have to resolve the Hood's foul play ability in player order. So if you didn't see my previous play with the Hood recently with the Hot Wings, or if you've just never seen him in general, his whole thing is he has a whole bunch of different modular encounter sets that get shuffled in over the course of the game. And occasionally he will trigger this foul play ability that as you discard cards from the top of his deck, and if they don't belong to his encounter set, the Hood encounter set, you end up with them as extra cards. He likes to show off the different gangs that he has recruited into his empire. And in Expert, one of the things that makes him so difficult is that on the stage 2 version, you discard the top 2 cards of the encounter deck, and the first one that's not one of his comes to you. And so you're pretty likely that you're going to end up with one. A lot of times in Standard, you've got at least a decent shot, since you're only flipping the top card, that you might not end up with one. But we're flipping the top 2. The first one is Standard, Caught Off Guard, and Under Fire from the Expert set. So we get the first one dealt to us as an encounter card. So we're going to have Caught Off Guard. So we need to keep that in mind. At least we're aware of it. So whatever upgrades I play on the first turn, one of them is going to get discarded. And I'm playing Rocket, so I'm sure I was planning on playing an upgrade. That's a little unfortunate, but at least we see it coming. And now to complete setup, we have to continue with the Hood. He has a when revealed. We're going to choose another set aside mod set and shuffle it in. So we're going to shuffle again, not looking, and we get Mr. Hyde. All right. So we shuffle the Mr. Hyde set in there. This is looking like a tough one to start off with here, Mr. Hyde and the Acolytes, but most of these were pretty on the difficult side, and, you know, I'm the one that chose these. I like a lot of these more difficult mod sets just because they're pretty cool most of the time. See if Rocket can handle it. So now that that's in there, let's quickly take a look at my deck. So what I have done is built a deck that really focuses on Confuse. So I have 3 copies of Think Fast. I am a Justice Guardian, so it's hard not to use these. And I'm hoping to use these every time I get one to confuse them. So I'm going to go to Alter Ego so I can use Rocket Raccoon's ability to discard a tech upgrade to draw 2 cards. I'd like to make very judicious use of that. So we've got 3 Think Fast. Now that does deal a damage to you when you play it. So I've got a Crew Quarters to hopefully offset some of that damage. And I'm going to be playing a one way or another deck. Now, I've got 3 Justice decks to play this month, so I'm not going to build 3 one way or another decks, but it does work so well with Rocket. And we're really going to be focusing on the damage, so I also included 3 Followeds to put on the side schemes that the one way or another's bring out for us. And I really wanted to try this new card I've never played yet, Command Center. After an ally thwarts and defeats a side scheme, you exhaust to deal 2 damage to an enemy. So basically, if we get this out and we have our allies finish the side schemes for us, that's going to be a free 2 damage every turn. I thought this paired nicely with Rocket because he already has a lot of passive damage in his kit with all of his weapons, his pistols, and his rocket launcher and stuff. So I thought it'd be cool to have yet another card on the table that could do damage for us every turn. Skilled Investigator, of course, pairs so well with one way or another. Under Surveillance works nicely on the Hood. You know, his main scheme only goes up to 5, and the more times he has 3 of these, and the more of them we lose, the harder the scenario gets. So I would like to get this on the first one, and then hopefully we never lose that first scheme. And then we just have a whole bunch of allies. I really decided to go that route because of the command center. We're hoping to have our allies be thwarting these schemes for us. So we have Professor X gets us another Confuse and a good thwart and a block. Blindfold will help control the encounter deck a little bit and thwart for us. Quake, when we have minions engaged with us when we go to Alter Ego, then she can help do some damage to them. Moon Girl, because Rocket is a genius on his Alter Ego side, and I'm never going to pass up a chance to play Moon Girl to draw some cards. Eros is just a cheap thwarter and potential blocker. Mockingbird will be nice for the stun. Rocket only has 9 hit points, and the only defense strategy I really built into this was to run to Alter Ego frequently, and actually I was planning on having Rocket take a lot of the hits and then hopefully heal. In Alter Ego, that's an unusual strategy for me, but I'm hoping to use the allies to do most of the thwarting because of that command center. So I don't really need Rocket to thwart, theoretically. And so I'm hoping that he can just heal a lot in Alter Ego, but we'll see how that goes. And then Speed, because he is such a good thwarter. And then I also thought I'd bring along Snowguard because she's so versatile. You know, I didn't know which encounter sets I was going to be facing. And so whatever I need her to be when the time comes, she can be my attacker, she can be a thwarter, or she could just be a blocker. And then I have a side holster, just in case I need a extra restricted spot. Ingenuity, because Rocket is a genius. And Endurance, because he has very little health. And of course, the 3 resource cards. All right, we are ready to get started. Now, I'm very excited to be playing Rocket. You know, the whole point of this series was just to enjoy the Christmas season by playing all of my favorite heroes and villains, and it has been a while since I've had the opportunity to play Rocket, so I'm just really looking forward to it. He is so much fun with all of the card draw he gets between his Murdered You ability on his hero side, where he defeats enemies with excess damage, he draws a card, and the fact that he can discard his tech upgrades to draw cards is really cool too, if you can get to Alter Ego, and this deck is designed particularly to do that. So I just think he's so fun. So we get a salvage. I also really like it when heroes have built-in double resource cards, especially because his is a mental and a wild, which means that could count as 2 mentals to play Moon Girl. So I would love to draw her. I'm such a big fan of Moon Girl. Okay, Professor X. Probably a little early to see him, but that's okay. Quake. I've got a plan. Come on, Moon Girl, Rocket Launcher, and, ooh, Genius. Now I really want to dig for Moon Girl just for all that card draw. So, need a threat on the main scheme here. Forgot about that. Let's see what I would like to start the game with. Well, I definitely don't need to worry too much about thwarting right now, so we'll get rid of that. And we're going to go ahead and pass on Quake as well. And I think also the Rocket Launcher, because I have a salvage in my hand, so I'll be able to put this back on top of my deck if I want to use it. So we'll set that aside as well. Now, I might regret getting rid of that I've got a plan if I draw a one way or another, but I really want to dig for Moon Girl. So that's what we're going with. So we're going to draw Followed. Ahaha, Moon Girl, yes. And another I've got a plan. Okay, so we have lots of card draw opportunities here. And I need to remember to not play any upgrades this turn because I've already got Caught Off Guard in front of me. That's the one nice thing about the Hood. You know, you do get a lot of extra encounter cards, so he is kind of just Surge the villain, but at least you know what they are half the time, so you can kind of plan ahead. So it does take a little bit of the sting out of getting all the extra encounter cards. Okay, we're going to start the game off right. We're going to pay a Genius with 2 mental, and I've got a plan with 1 mental, so that's 3 mental resources to play Moon Girl. You have to be a genius or a champion to play her, and Rocket is only a genius in his Alter Ego side, so I need to play it now. And after you play her from your hand, you get to draw a card for each mental resource used to pay for her. Well, I used 3, so I get to draw 3 more cards. I get an Energy, a One Way or Another, and Speed. Okay, we're going to draw lots of cards this first turn, and then we're just going to go ahead and attack for 6 more, bringing him down to 3. And you know, I hadn't mathed it out. I didn't realize it was going to be just enough damage because Rocket can hit him for 1, and Quake can do the honors to finish him off. Oh, what a cool way to end it. Double shot with the cannon and the pistol. Just Rocket guns blazing. That is definitely what you want to see. Did not start that turn realizing I was going to win. I was planning on doing as much damage as I could and then going to alter ego, drawing some cards, and flipping back up for hopefully the win next turn. But yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. I think that deck did pretty much what it was supposed to do. I think Command Center did 4, maybe 6 damage for us. That's a really neat card. I'm glad I got to try that out. You know, leaning into your allies to remove the threat for you is kind of a new idea. I've been harping on Justice for a little while, wanting to see some new ideas, and usually they want your hero to be the one clearing the side schemes for things like Turn the Tide. So it's nice to encourage your allies to do it instead. That, you know, just a little bit of different way to play, a little bit different way to build. I think my strategy of planning on taking the hits to the face whenever necessary worked out decently well. I chump blocked a little bit, but really only for his extra attacks, I think. So yeah, was able to confuse him, got to flip down a couple times. That worked out really well. That was really fun. I am loving these 12 plays of Christmas, and I hope you guys are having fun with me too. I think that was a really, really fun game.
I'm going to clean it up, and let's find out what our next fun game is going to be.
Oh, I forgot to shuffle one in. Oh, man. I'm so stupid. Oh, I'm so stupid. That was such a fun game, too. No. I can't believe I did that. Oh, I'm gutted. Okay, so apparently this is going to start being a thing with these videos. I'm actually setting up here for my second game. Now, I'm not going to include the first one for this one simply because the reason I'm playing it again is because I made such a bonehead, gigantic error halfway through the first game that it would be silly to include it. It was a fun game and went really well. I won, but when I defeated the Hood stage 2 and I flipped him over, I totally forgot to shuffle in another mod set. And I never noticed until I was cleaning up the game and I still saw 5 piles sitting off to the side. And I was like, there should be 4. I know I shuffled 3 in. No, I didn't. So I played the whole last 30% of the game without having the mod set in. So I could say this deck was able to do the strategy it was supposed to do. And now hopefully we can do it again. So we're going to set up the Hood again. We've got our 7 mod sets. I even said out loud, you know, I got to shuffle one in, and then when I was resetting his hit points, and I don't know, I just forgot. I don't know. It's crazy. You don't know until you start filming games. You know, if you watch a lot of playthroughs online, it is crazy how easy it is to forget stuff when you're playing. All right, Mr. Hyde, he was in the first game, and I guess we're going to have him again. That is really too bad. I was really hoping not to see him a second time. Once was enough. We did get him in the first game, and we did end up killing him. But it was a lot of work. Sorry, I'm not trying to tease you with the glories of the first game, but, you know, it's just not worth including a game with such a gigantic error in it if I'm only going to play it again. So we shuffle that in. We flip this over. We resolve the Hood's foul playability, so we flip the top 2 cards, and the first one that is not part of the Hood's encounter set, we get dealt as an extra encounter card for the end of the round. So we're going to get Mr. Hyde formula, and then the advance is going to go away. So this is just going to surge. Yeah, that should just surge, so that's actually not too bad. All right, and then now we do the Hoods when revealed, where we shuffle in another mod set, so shuffle them up. Now in the first game, we start out with the Acolytes and Mr. Hyde. So hopefully we don't end up just with the same thing, play the exact same game again. All right, is Galactic Artifacts this time. And that's actually kind of what I was hoping for. And I built this deck. You know, it's a one way or another deck. I was hoping to see the Galactic Artifacts side schemes because they actually do nice things for you when you complete them. Now, the rest of the set's pretty tough. There's some really nasty attachments for the villain and the hero. And then there's 4 really nice side schemes. So the first game I got the Acolytes and Mr. Hyde, and I was like, man, I actually didn't build this deck to deal with all these minions as much as Rocket wants to. I knew the mod sets, that's not the Hyde, okay. I knew the mod sets weren't too minion heavy, so that's how I built the deck towards the side schemes, but it still worked out the first game. I just had to kill a few more minions than I was planning on it. Okay, so I think we're fully set up again. It's always tricky when you start a second game. I have to remember like all the stuff I said in the first one. Make sure I say the right things again. Okay, so shuffle my deck. This is the last time I'll say it, but I can't believe I did. I was so happy. I was getting ready to get out the next hero, the next villain. And I'm so glad I noticed it, though. I would have been so frustrated when I was editing if I saw that, because then I would have had to just start completely over because I wouldn't have used it. Okay, so we're going to draw our hand. We get one way or another. Cybernetic Skeleton. The Skilled Investigator goes so nicely with one way or another. The Pistol. Strength. I'm really liking the look of this hand. And Moon Girl. Yes, that was another cool thing from the first game. I promise this is the last time I'll bring it up. I got to play her on the first turn and draw 3 cards. You know, I'm a genius and alter ego. I had the 3 mentals. It's not looking as likely this time. So as far as my mulligan, well, we're definitely going to do one way or another and the Skilled Investigator, because I know that there's an easy Hood side scheme in here that we could get rid of. And I'm really tempted to mulligan away Moon Girl. I wouldn't normally do that, but I don't really have any other mentals. And I can't play one way or another until I get to hero form, so I don't know that I'll draw into any. I didn't bother with the skeleton in the first game, and I don't think I'm going to again. I'm going to mulligan away Moon Girl. I hate to do it. I don't think I've ever done that, but it's just not going to work out. And then I'm going to keep the Pistol for a little damage and the Strength, because we are going to draw a bunch of cards with one way or another. And we're going to get Speed and Ingenuity, so at least we'll have that to play in Alter Ego. That's nice. So we're just going to start out by doing that. We'll use the double to get Ingenuity on the table while we're in our Genius form, so that'll be a free resource. We'll go ahead and flip to Hero and play one way or another. We're going to go get the Hood's side scheme, because we don't want the Mr. Hyde side scheme because it'll bring him out. And I'd like to avoid that if possible. Oh, that's right. I forgot the Galactic Artifacts are in here. Maybe I can grab one of those. They do have a lot of threat. I think they pretty much have 3, and then they're going to hinder 2. So they have like 5 threat, but then when you defeat them, they do really good things. This would let me play a free card. The problem is right now, as far as what's in my hand, I'm not certain I'm going to be able to thwart it away. I guess Speed could. So we probably will grab one. It's going to do something nice for us. That's just going to ready us and heal 4 damage. Okay, let's go get the one that... Should we draw 2 cards or play a card for 3 less? Well, it kind of depends on what we draw with one way or another. I don't currently have a card I would want to play for 3 less. But I think there's a decent chance I'll draw one. Yeah, we'll grab that one. Maybe we can get like a good ally out or something. So we'll grab the Crystal Ball. That's cool. That's going to have 5 threat, but we should be able to deal with that. Okay. So bring that out. It's got 5 on it. And then we get to draw 3 cards. We get Command Center. Excellent. Salvage, double resource, and Under Surveillance. Okay, so we didn't end up drawing something expensive to play for free, but that's all right. We're going to get the Skilled Investigator on the table. We're going to use Ingenuity for a resource, and then the Salvage for 2 more, and then Rocket's Pistol for a 4th to play Speed. And then Salvage lets us put a tech from our discard pile on top of our deck, so we'll get the Pistol back for next turn. And now Speed, after he thwarts, you can ready him. So he gets to thwart twice. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a rocket thwart for 2, bring it down to 3. Speed's going to thwart it down to 1. Then he's going to ready, and then he is going to clear it. So Speed will end up taking 2 damage. Crystal Ball will go away. It goes to the victory display, so we can't just keep doing that. And we get to play a card from our hand, reducing its resource cost by 3. We're just going to use that to bring out Under Surveillance. So that's going to bring the main scheme up to 9, so we won't be as likely to lose it. We get to draw a card with Skilled Investigator for clearing a side scheme, which is going to be that pistol. And then as much as I want to get the command center on the table, it worked really well in the first game. Oops, I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. I think I would, you know what? No, I've got plenty of pistols. We're going to get that out. That way, the next time we clear side schemes, we get to do some damage. And that is everything we can do, but we got a pretty decent amount of stuff out on the first turn. Probably just going to take this first hit to the face. Draw our hand, reload, thruster boots, another salvage, think fast for some confuse, that'll be nice, and snow guard. Not certain we can afford her, but we will see. So making connections goes to 2 of 9. The hood's attacking, and we're just going to take this one. I don't want to chump with Speed just yet. I'd like to thwart with him again. So it is a boost of 2. So we're taking a total of 3 damage. So we are down to 6. And now we're going to have 2 cards, and we know this first one is just going to surge, I believe. If Calvin Zabo is in play, he schemes. If Mr. Hyde is in play, give him tough. If neither is in play, gain surge. Okay, so that surges into, he's attacking us again. We're already down to 6. I still think we're going to take it. He only hits for 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, we're down to 3. Hopefully this isn't another attack. He has 2 more activations in his deck just from his own set, plus the gang up in another assault. So it could happen. Oh no, we get the poison. This is nasty. Attach to your identity. When your turn begins, you place a poison counter here, then take a damage. And then you have to spend 3 resources of different types to get rid of it. This is such an awful card. All right, well, we're starting our turn. We put a counter on it, and we immediately take a damage. And that is only going to get worse. So we have to get rid of that, which seriously interrupts our plans for the turn. All right, well, we're going to use a salvage for 2 of the resources and a reload for the 3rd. The salvage is going to let us put that pistol back on top again. Maybe we'll end up playing it. That gets rid of this. It was costly, but it was necessary. We're going to have Speed thwart one more time. He's up to 3, so we'll just be keeping him for a blocker in the future. We're going to use the thruster boots to play Think Fast to confuse the hood. Now we take a damage. We go down to 1, but he's confused. We're going to flip the alter ego and heal, so we go up to 4. And actually, I forgot I had Ingenuity on the table, so instead of discarding that thruster boots to pay for Think Fast, I will just use the Ingenuity, and then I'll just use Snow Guard to get the thruster boots on the table. Gives me 1 thwart and the aerial trait, so that might be nice. And that is going to do it. Now, this game is definitely off to a rocky start. We draw 6 cards, an alter ego. We get our pistol, battery pack, energy, Professor X, crew quarters. That'll be nice for the healing, and followed for some potential damage, though there are no side schemes currently. All right, making connections is getting a threat. The hood wants to scheme, but he is confused. And all we have to do is our encounter card, which is Calvin Zabo. When revealed, if Mr. Hyde is in play, discard it, and he would attack you, but he's not. So all we have to do is put him into play, but when we defeat him, if we decide to, we search the encounter deck and discard pile for Mr. Hyde and put him into play. It is just so hard to avoid Mr. Hyde when he is in the game. So we either ignore Calvin Zabo and hope that Mr. Hyde doesn't come out, because if he comes out with Calvin in front of you, it's much worse for you. He attacks you really hard. But if he doesn't come out, then Calvin's only attacking you for 1, so it's not too bad. So we'll see. Well, we're definitely going to use Ingenuity to play a crew quarters to heal for 1. Gets us up to 5. feels like we should probably go ahead and heal back up to 8. You know, our hero activation isn't really that crucial right now. Gonna go to hero form, use an energy and follow to bring out the good professor. He's gonna confuse the hood for us, thwart the main back to 0 anyway. And I guess we're gonna have Calvin in front of us for at least one turn. We're gonna use a battery pack to play a pistol. It's kind of hard to decide which one of those to bring out, but that's what we're gonna do. And I guess we'll go ahead and hit Calvin for 2. We are gonna have to defeat him at some point, I think. Oh, you know what? I think I am gonna risk ignoring him, actually. We're gonna hit the hood for 2. So he is down to 14. He starts the game at 16. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to risk keeping Calvin in play and really, really hope that our encounter card here isn't Mr. Hyde. That would be very bad for us. All right, draw our 5 cards. We get another Think Fast, arrows, a particle cannon. There's some big damage. I've got a plan for a lot of thwarting, and one way or another. Go get another one of those fancy galactic artifacts. So, making connections goes up to 1. The hood is attacking us. We're just going to go ahead and let Professor X stand in front of that. He takes 3 damage. It's enough to knock him out. Thank you for your service. Calvin's going to hit us for 1. We're just going to take it down to 7. And please, please, please don't be Mr. Hyde. Oh, the hood's getting his pistol. Okay, that's not too bad. So he just has +1/+1. It's not great, but at least we're not getting hit for 5 with Mr. Hyde right now. Well, okay, back to us. And do we want a one way or another? We do have, I've got a plan, so we're in pretty good shape for thwarting. Yeah, let's do it. We're going to one way or another go get another one of those very nice side schemes. We could draw 2 cards. Heal 4 damage. That would be a little bit of a waste. We only need 2 health. Or we could ready. Okay, we're going to do the draw 2 cards one, which was the Philosopher's Stone. It has 5 threat, which is exactly how much Rocket can remove with oh, actually, he has his thruster boot, so he's already thwarting for 3. Yeah, we can remove this easily. All right, that's got 5 threat on it and an amplify, but it's not going to be around for long. And more importantly, we get to draw 3 cards. We get Mockingbird, the rocket launcher, and some money. Nice. We are going to use that genius to play arrows, and for each mental used to pay for him, you can confuse a minion. That's not always useful, but that's actually pretty nice right now because old Calvin here schemes for 3, and we are going to go to Alter Ego. So we don't want him scheming for 3, so that's pretty nice. Then we're going to have Rocket thwart this thing for 3. Eros is going to finish it off for the other 2. And that means a couple things here. We get to draw 2 cards for completing that. We also get to draw a card for Skilled Investigator, so we're going to draw a total of 3. We're going to get another I've Got a Plan, far more thwarting than we need. I didn't even put any thwart events in this deck, and I still have more thwart than I need. Another Followed. Oh, would have been nice a second ago for the damage. And a battery pack. Okay, happy to see that. So that was all our cards. And then since we used an ally to defeat a side scheme, we also get to deal 2 damage. We are going to continue to ignore Calvin Zabo, possibly at our peril, to bring the hood down to 12. We're going to hold on to speed for the future chump block, I believe. I've still got quite a few cards in my hand. I've got these 2 I've Got a Plans I'm not going to use. So let's exhaust Ingenuity for 1 resource and discard both of these I've Got a Plans to bring out the particle cannons. Now I have both of my restricted slots taken up. That has 2 charge counters on it. I'm gonna move the command center down here because I'm gonna use these 3 to bring out Mockingbird for the stun. It's my 3rd ally. It's just nice to have him pretty locked down. We're gonna have Mockingbird, ping him for 1. Just continue to chip away at him. Brings him down to 11. She takes a damage. We're gonna smack him for 2 with the pistol and 4 with the particle cannon for 6 more. He's down to 5. And of course, those cost us counters. Now we're gonna go down to Alter Ego. Gonna heal for 1 with the crew quarters. Up to 8. And we're gonna use his tinkering ability to discard this pistol to draw 2 cards. We're getting a one way or another and a pistol. Okay, I'm gonna use the pistol to bring out the battery pack. It's got 2 counters on it, and I can exhaust it and move a counter to another one of my upgrades. So I'm gonna put it on the particle cannon, try to keep that one fully charged up. And we are gonna hold on to one way or another since that's 3 cards for us in the future. We're at 8 health, the scheme's at 1, he's confused and stunned. We've got Calvin in front of us, just waiting for Mr. Hyde to pop out and transform on us. That's gonna be real bad. Okay, going to the villain phase. I'm just so nervous about Mr. Hyde. He is confused, so he does not scheme, which is good because he's scheming for 3 now because of his pistol. And then Calvin Zabo is confused, so he doesn't scheme for 3. Thank you, Eros. So that was all fine. Now, what's it gonna be? Oh, another galactic artifact. This is not great. Attach the enemy with the lowest attack. Oh, actually, attachment enemy with the lowest attack. It was gonna go on Calvin here. And it gives him +3 attack, so he just suddenly became a lot less ignorable because now he's attacking for 4. That creates an interesting situation because we could either try to spend... Oh, I forgot to draw cards. Darn it. I hate when I do that. Schadenfreude, Endurance, Blindfold, Followed, and Reload. Okay. So as I was saying, now I have to decide to either try to spend 3 punch resources to just discard this, or I could just kill Calvin Zabo and that would get rid of it too, but then that brings out Mr. Hyde, which then we gotta waste 10 damage on him, so... we will see. The first thing we're gonna do is heal the crew quarters all the way back up to 9, that's nice. We're gonna use the battery pack again on the particle cannon, so it has 3 charges. And then we're going to use his tinkering ability to discard the battery pack. Now, if you haven't played Rocket, if you're wondering why it works that way, most upgrades have the uses terminology, and when they are run out, you automatically discard them. His do not have the uses terminology, so they stay in play specifically for the purposes of being able to tinker them later. So I get to draw 2 cards to get a Quake and Think Fast, and I only have 1 card left in my deck. I absolutely love all this card draw. It's one of my favorite things about Rocket. Pretty much is my favorite thing about Rocket. Just you get to draw so many cards. Now, obviously, the one way or another strategy helps with that too, and being able to go to Alter Ego with the Confuse and Justice. But it is just so much fun to draw cards in a card game, and he really, really enables that. Even with all these cards in my hand, I still don't have 3 punch resources. If I really did want to discard that cloak, it's not even an option. So now we're going to go to hero form. We're going to use Ingenuity to play Endurance. We certainly could use the health. Not that we're damaged, but just there could be a lot of damage coming in the future. So that takes us up to 12. Oh yeah, I have one way or another. So I should probably play that. And we're going to go get another one of the galactical artifacts. The not the heal one, we'll do the ready one. We can get a little bit of use out of that. Okay, so that comes in with 5 threat. When we defeat it, we get to ready our identity, and we draw 3 cards from one way or another. So we get the side holster, And of course, now we'll have an extra encounter card. We reshuffle our deck. So we drew one, we get two more. Another One Way or Another, can't play that. And a Genius for some resources. Now I have 3 allies in play, so if I want to play another one, I need to use somebody up. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to have Rocket thwart the Monarch Egg for 3, and then have Speed use up his last activation to finish it. So he goes away, this goes away. I get to ready my identity per that card. And then I'll draw another card with Skilled Investigator, and I'll deal 2 damage with the Command Center because I had an ally complete a side scheme. So that's another card for more thwarting. And we're going to do the damage to the Hood. We're just going to continue to ignore Calvin as much as we can. We've got a lot of health. If we have to take a hit from him, so be it. And we're just going to try to hit the Hood as hard as we can. So now we are going to use the particle cannon to hit him for 4. He only has 3 health left, so that means we have dealt excess damage. So we'll get to draw a card with the Murdered You ability. Definitely not something I'm getting to do a lot in this particular setup, so it was nice to get to do it once. He goes to 0, and let us not forget now, when he goes to stage 3, we got to shuffle in another mod set, and he goes to 18 health. Don't forget to shuffle in the mod set this time. So we're going to grab our little randomizer pile here. I'm not looking, and I have to be careful not to look because the ship command one, I should have grabbed a different card from that set so it wouldn't have a blue. Put the Milano in there. I don't know what I was thinking. It doesn't matter. I'm not looking, so I didn't get it anyway. So now we're getting the Acolytes again, just like in the first game. So we'll shuffle these sizable, scary minions into the deck. We'll give it a really good shuffle. And now, can we just deal 18 damage to the Hood? Probably not this turn. And we're going to take a pretty big hit. He's attacking for 3 with his pistol. Calvin Zabo's attacking for 4. We're going to have 2 encounter cards at least. So definitely going to be entering a scary villain phase, but the good news is I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 11 cards in my hand, which is pretty cool. Now, most of them don't really do too much, and I'm seeing this followed in my hand. I probably should have put on that egg. Darn it, darn it, darn it. All right, we're going to use Schadenfreude and the side holster to bring out Quake. She can do 2 more damage to the Hood. Down to 16. We're really going all in on damage here as much as we can. You know, we're going to use arrows to thwart because I need to make another spot for an ally. So he goes away so that we can pay 1, 2, 3 for Blindfold. When she comes out, we get to look at the top 5 cards of the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have to keep them in the same order, but we can discard 1. So at least we'll have some knowledge and we'll kind of know what to expect from the villain activation. So as it stands now, he's going to get a boost to 2, which means he's going to be attacking us for 5. Calvin's attacking for 4. It's going to be 9 damage. So if I discard this, I'll have a 1 boost, but then Mr. Hyde becomes our encounter card, and we really don't want that. That would be very bad. I probably actually should just discard him and then get the teapot. Yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to discard him, and the cards go back in the same order. I'm just going to put them face up so I don't forget what they are, because you watch me play, you know I forget stuff easily. So that is that, and Blindfold has nothing to thwart. The Hood is stunned from earlier. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. Hold on. He's stunned. He's stunned. So this was like this. So then that would make our card Self-Experimentation. So that's the one we want to discard then. And then this will be our encounter card. And then this will be the boost card next time. Yeah, that's what we want to do. Whew, glad I noticed that. Really would have set myself up for disaster there. And then I have really a handful of cards I can't really do much with because I was Very foolish to not play that followed. Really kicking myself for that one. So we're gonna use one of the followeds in my hand that I should have played to play Think Fast. I'll take a damage to confuse him. I don't know if I even care about that anymore, but might as well because it's in my hand. Then I'm going to use One Way or Another as a resource because I don't think there's any more side schemes in there. I'm probably going to want to grab at this point to play Reload. That's going to ready my particle cannon. I'm going to use it again for 4 more damage. Bring him down to 12, and I'm going to save that followed in my hand because we know that this is coming out, and we'll put it on that. So we'll still get use out of it. Rocket can attack for 1. Mockingbird can attack for 1. Bring him down to 10, so we're still doing good. He would be at 6 if I keep giving myself a hard time about forgetting to do that, but that's okay. So yeah, okay. I think we just have to survive this villain phase, and we know what's going to happen unless I royally screwed it up. So I think we're in good shape here. Gonna hold on to the oh, we do have this encounter. We don't know what this is, do we? No, I don't know what that is, so that could be a problem. Guess we'll find out. Hold on to followed. Another One Way or Another. Feels like there's 7 of them. Oh, I reshuffled. I was like, how many did I put in here? Salvage and salvage. So a hand I can do really not that much with unless I do end up playing One Way. So the scheme goes up to 1, so he is stunned. I'm really hoping I did this right. So he doesn't attack. And then we have 2 encounter cards. We get the teapot and whatever this is. Oh, and Calvin Zabo attacks this. We're just going to take it down to 7. It's 4 damage. And then our first one is, here we go. Here we go. Upper hand. The hood is going to attack us and we do foul play. Oh, that's not. Okay. Well, at least we know what the boost card. So he's attacking us for 3, and then Mr. Hyde is going to be the boost for 6. So we're definitely going to throw Mockingbird in front of that for 6. And then, so she's defeated. And then we do foul play. So we discard the top 2 cards of the deck, and he's on stage 3. So we get both of these dealt to us as encounter cards. Oh, so they'll come out in this order. Oh my goodness, this went bad real fast. So we're getting the magical teapot. That's fine. Has 5 threat. Doesn't really do anything. We're getting advanced, so he's going to scheme for 4, 5, 6, 7, which takes making connections up to 8 of 9. So just missed completing thanks to the van. And then we know we're getting Senyaka, who has teamwork, but thankfully there is not another acolyte on the board. So he doesn't do anything. So we just need to deal 10 damage to win the game. Can we do that? Yeah, we got this. We're going to use One Way or Another to put followed on the magical teapot, like should have done before. And then we're going to have Rocket thwart 3 off of it. Blindfold thwart 2. That is going to get rid of this. That heals our identity for 4, bringing us up to 11. Nice way to finish the game. Follow triggers. So we deal 4 damage to the hood down to 6. We'll also use the command center because we use an ally to defeat a side scheme. Down to 4. And the particle cannon to finish him off. Whew, okay. So that is actually 2 wins against the expert hood with this deck. That was, I'm pretty pleased with that. This one was definitely harder, I think. It was just scary having him there. It's always a risk to ignore him. Oh my gosh, that was fun. I'm really not trying to make it a habit of playing 2 games in each of these videos, even though I'm only including this one for this one. It's just kind of working out that way. It's almost like I'm deliberately trying to get 24 plays of Christmas. But speaking of a play of Christmas, let's clean this up and see what's coming next. Okay. We are 2 for 2 so far in these 12 plays of Christmas. Been having so much fun playing my favorite heroes, my favorite villains. getting some really good games out of these and kind of cheating and playing them all twice. But I think I talked more in the first game about why I like Rocket so much, and the Hood, just mostly with Rocket. It's all the card draw, and it is really fun to get out the different weapon upgrades, and swapping the counters around with the battery packs is really fun. Discarding them in Alter Ego to draw cards to put more stuff out. It's a really good arc. He is super fun to play. He is very fragile, and he definitely can lose a lot of games if you get really unlucky. If the encounter cards just, the villain keeps attacking you, he has very little health and defense. So, he's not someone who's going to win every game in solo, but I definitely always have a good time just drawing so many cards with him. Usually you get to use his Murdered You ability a lot more to deal excess damage to the enemies, and that's a fun little puzzle too. Sometimes you might waste a damage by attacking with an ally or something just to put one more damage on, so that then your bigger attack will do excess just to draw a card. And deciding whether or not that's worth it is always an interesting choice as well. So just a blast. And the Hood, I mean, he's just awesome. I think he himself is sort of the generic Marvel Champions villain. Like, he himself doesn't do anything special, but it's just all about the mod sets you put in there. You can create some really interesting theme sets, or we can do what we did here, get 7 random ones, and it was just neat to see how those things interacted together. Now, the Galactic Artifacts worked out nicely, that I got most of the bonuses from them. I did the one way or another thing on purpose in the hopes of getting that one in, but it was a 1 in 7 chance. I might not have seen it. I didn't see it the first game. But it worked out that we did, so we got to enjoy all those bonuses. It was cool that we cleared all 4 of them. So, yeah, that was awesome. 2 for 2. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3, which, of course, we are, because these are all my favorites. So, let's see what will be next. Now, you're going to find out, I'm going to release another video here very soon featuring 2 of my favorite heroes, because I wanted to talk about them, and so they didn't end up in this box. So you'll see when I release that video that these weren't exactly my 12 favorite heroes, because 2 of my favorites were kept out for that other video, but I'm okay with that, because that just means that's 2 more that got to get played with that wouldn't have otherwise. So if there's a certain hero you're expecting to see, you might not, just because of that reason. So who is it going to be next time? Next time will be, Nebula. I think this, it's funny, I said that. I was totally accidental. I don't know if she would have made it in if I did include those other 2 heroes that I kept set aside for the purposes of the other video. I really like Nebula a lot, but there's so many heroes I really, really like that I'm very, very excited that she made it in. I haven't played her. I played her a ton when she was new, and I haven't played her a lot recently, so I'm really excited that she made it in thanks to me setting aside those other 2. Now, one thing that's nice is I really don't care which aspect she is in. She plays just really well for me in any, and it's going to be Justice. Okay, well, I'm always happy to play a Guardian in Justice. I don't know if I should use Think Fast again, since I just did a lot of that tonight, but I'll make that choice when we build the deck. So it's going to be Nebula Justice against... I'm just so happy. I love Nebula. She's so fun. It's weird that there are probably 11 heroes I like more than her. I like her so much, but that's just how much I love a lot of the heroes in this game. And the villain is going to be... Drang! Nice! Drang is just always such a good time. He's pretty simple. He's pretty straightforward. And he's not too hard. I'll definitely do this one in Expert, because I don't think he's too tough. But I really like how straightforward he is. Now, one thing that's interesting is one of the things that makes Drang so fun normally is he comes with a Band of Badoon modular and counter set. So it'll be a very different experience depending on who we end up with here. And it's going to be, okay, Crossfire's crew. So not that different. A nice big set of heavies. Now, they're definitely a little bit more, these guys are a little bit scarier than the Band of Badoon. So that'll probably jack up the difficulty a little bit, which is nice. I'll still play an Expert though. They're not too bad. So I think that's going to be really cool. I've definitely never done this combo. Drang's one of those I pretty much always do bring the Brotherhood of Badoon. They're just so fun to beat up on. So that is going to be awesome. So Nebula, and the theme worked out too. We got a Guardian, a spacey hero against a spacey villain. So that is going to be really, really fun. Now I'm not going to build a deck now, because like I said, I'm not going to be doing that. I thought I would, but yeah, I don't want the videos to run too long, but I would have probably done a one way or another deck because Drang has a lot of side schemes just in his main villain deck. So that would work out nicely, but I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm going to have to come up with something different for Nebula. I probably still will use Think Fast just because it works so well for the Guardians, and she really wants to go to Alter Ego. She has an awesome Alter Ego ability. So I probably will still do that, but I won't do one way or another. I'll come up with a different strategy for her. So, but that will be the video for next time. I just want to continue to thank you guys so much for joining me for these. It was really exciting to see some people say they were pretty excited for this series, that they thought this was really cool. And it's so exciting for me to know that there are people out there who are like genuinely looking forward to these. That makes me really happy. I really appreciate that. So this has just been fantastic, and I really look forward to the next one. I hope to see you next time we get up in game. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.